Alright guys, welcome back to my video series here. We are in the middle of repotting Dracula orchids and dividing Dracula orchids and cleaning up Dracula orchids. This is the third video, so if you missed the first one on care and culture, make sure you check that out. If you missed the second one on repotting this guy or unpotting this guy and how we trim the dead roots and how we separate these guys all out, make sure you check out that for dividing the orchids. Now we are going to repot the orchids. Well, we're actually going to only repot one of them, and it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's a couple off camera, 7, 8 divisions out of the one pot. I'm only keeping one for myself in the next little while, especially on some of these that they actually look like really awesome divisions. Nice roots coming out. Look at all these roots coming out of this. I don't know if you can see that. We've removed all the dead roots, or most of them. My goal was 90%. We can get 90% of the crap off. Sprayed them with a hose from underneath, and they turn into just really nice divisions that are going to thrive once they get into some new media. So anyways, these guys, the extras, are probably going to end up on my sales website for Canadians to buy. Unfortunately, there's no sales outside Canada at this point, so if you do want one of these guys and you're in Canada, check out that check out my sales site. I'll try to put a link down in the description, or you can just Google Brad's Greenhouse Nepenthes or Brad's Greenhouse Carnivorous Plants, and the website will come up as well, because there's lots of carnivorous plants on there, and a few other Dracula orchids actually. My media for today is going to be mainly sphagnum moss. Not mainly, really, it's going to be all sphagnum. I never used to pot them like this. Well, actually, I used to pot them like this, and they did awesome. And then I changed my media and put some other stuff in it, like perlite and orchid bark. And they didn't do as well. And so I'm back to just using this kind of moss. It can be dangerous if you're using just this moss, because it can compact, it doesn't breathe properly. But in a net pot, you know what, it dries so fast and can breathe so easily. It's not really a concern of mine. I've had no problems with it. So why don't we get started? I got to pick one of these guys, and this is make it tough on myself. Do I pick one with some spikes for you guys? Because yeah, this one looks like this is going to be my new main plant, we're going to call it. And so it is going to be tough because it got some spikes, and I like to do this in one motion too, so that's going to make it tougher too. I'm going to put some media up here. I want to get some right underneath of it. I don't want a hollow spot, and I'm going to try to do this with, well, here's hoping. I said in the last video I'm prepared to break some spikes. This guy hadn't been repotted since 2011 due to the fact that I was too scared to break spikes, that I kept like not repotting it and not repotting it. And a perfect example of how you get rotten roots by not repotting. This media over time goes acidic, and the acidic media, the roots don't like the acidic media. You can see in the last video where the roots wouldn't grow through the old media. They started just kind of growing out and around the edge. So there we go. That's looking pretty good. Now I just have to try to funnel. This is going to be the hard part. Funnel, and I'll try to keep you in camera, some of these new spikes down and through. See where they come out. You can see them coming out the bottom. And I don't want that one coming out the side there. Maybe there. You can see it coming out the side. Gosh. I'm not going to cry if spikes get broken. It's just going to be the nature of the beast. And in one motion, I am going to try to push this into place. Just like so. So I've done this enough that I know basically how much media that I need to put in here. I want it to be tight, but I don't want to compact the media. It's still nice and fluffy down there, but it's tight enough that the plant itself is stable. It's not going anywhere. All the roots I know are surrounded by media. I know there's media up underneath in the core, so there's no hollow spots. You can see it's not going anywhere. I can shake it, so that's good. This one didn't come exactly as I had hoped. It's kind of straight out, but it didn't break, so that's okay. These ones are coming out the bottom, so I would say overall, even if I lose this one, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and it's going to grow lots more now anyways. So the next thing I have to do, now that that's repotted, is it hangs, and this thing was all rusted, so I'm going to make myself a new hanging bracket, we'll call it, hanging wire. So I've already got some wire here, and I'll try to do this on camera as much as I can. The wire's already sort of cut to length. It's probably 3 feet long altogether. I'm going to fold it in half there. So I'm making a loop at the bottom here. There's one loop at the top. Let's see if we can get this to focus. One loop at the top and the 2 loose ends because I've folded it over on itself. Now I'm going to give this a bit of a spin around my finger like so to create the hangy hook. Now it looks like that. And I've done full videos on this technique as well. I love it. I use it for a lot of things. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to bend these all at once. The key is having them all the same length. So it's not so much the bottoms have to be the same length. That doesn't matter. It's the distance from this to here that has to be the same in order for the plant to hang properly. And if you've seen the last video, you saw that we had one of these already attached to the pot. So the pot already has its holes in it. So I just got to find the holes and rehang it. I'm going to spin that guy. There's one. And 2. So after I re-water it, I'm going to have to make sure the media is all snug down there. It won't take long to grow extra roots. In my greenhouse anyways, with the humidity as it is, they grow pretty fast. 3, sorry, I had to get a better look at that to find the 3rd hole there. And something doesn't look quite right about this, but we're going to move this one. We're going to back it up. It looks like in the past I have done some extra holes, none of which actually really line up that fantastic with my thing, but put that one there. And where's the last one? 1, 2, 3, oh, it's right there. 4. There we go, and then I just give this a twist. I can trim that if I want to. Now it's back to being hanging pot. And I'm just going off camera for a second. I'm trying to push this down a little bit more. On the back side I see it's loose. Won't bother anything. The roots will head right down into that media. I'm going to find a hangy hook again. I don't know which one I had that came off of it, but we will put a hangy hook back on that. And yeah, straighten it up in the pot a little bit. The last thing I'm going to do to this guy is put some dolomite lime on top of the soil. I want half those leaves on one side and half on the other, so it looks a little bit better instead of having them all on one side. So there we go. Now it's hanging. Now we'll lay it down. Luckily we still haven't broken that spike, so that's good. This is a mixture of dolomite lime and a tiny bit of oyster shell that I didn't realize until I just opened it right now. It somehow got some water in it so it doesn't sprinkle out nicely, which is a bit of a shame, but whatever. Now I'm just going to take it to the sink and water that dolomite lime in there. So what that does, dolomite's made of calcium, magnesium. It doesn't really dissolve unless the media goes below 7, which is neutral on the pH scale. Unlike an oyster shell or stuff like that, that has a much higher pH, this doesn't really affect the pH unless it goes below 7. So you stay there and look at a blank tray for a second. And I am going to give this guy a watering. Just a quick one. And that sort of just will settle everything into place nicely. And there we go. So that is how, from start to finish, we repot a Dracula orchid. It's going to be happy and healthy in there for another couple of years now. I really don't want to go as long as I did before. So the other thing you need to do on the tag is make sure you cross out the old date and put the new date on there, which as soon as I find a pencil I will do, to let us know when these things were last repotted. Because believe it or not, you forget really fast when you repotted these. So I think that turned out pretty good. That's going to hang back up. I'm going to have to do the same to all the other ones. Net pots are really hard to find, so before you ask where you get net pots, I don't really have a good source. I just kind of scrounge them around from friends and stuff like that. In the future, when this guy gets rooted a little bit more, I may put some tape around this to hold some of the humidity in, but for now I don't want it to stay too wet for too long, and with very little roots, it's not going to dry out too fast anyways. So I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm just across the greenhouse now finding a hanging hook to hang it up, and it just went way over there. It's on the hanging wall because I couldn't reach up there because I don't have my little hook to hang it up with. But anyways, yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, other repotting videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye guys.